I see there's still folks trying to log on. And we're going to jump right into the content tonight. So, folks, welcome back to the Freedom and Wealth Seekers podcast, where we pride ourselves. I pride myself on sharing and informing and educating you while you all help us grow a community of abundance with this actionable information, the content, the resources that we share, and that you, more importantly, can experience results with. It's nothing like meeting a freedom and wealth seeker out in the public, whether I'm attending a function or I'm just out looking at properties. I love meeting fellow freedom and wealth seekers. Folks, as this community continues to grow, I believe we're at almost 2,600 YouTube subscribers. Continue to share, comment on the YouTube videos. If you aren't familiar with our YouTube channel, it's under REI Inner Circle. You can go back and watch some videos from maybe 10 years ago on that YouTube channel. My goal is to get to 3,000 before the end of summer. Hopefully we can get to 5,000 and then put our sights on 10,000 subscribers there. I'm going to continue to publish these podcasts. They're actually podcast episodes 1 through 9 are on another platform. They're on our Vimeo platform. I'll be migrating those over to YouTube soon and sending out an email. If you're receiving emails from me, okay, make sure you add me as a contact in your email contacts so you can ensure yourself of receiving those emails, okay? Because I'm back to sending the emails. To the folks that are opening them up, I love it. Last time I checked, we were at 36% open rate. I'm only targeting people that are engaging with me right now. So I appreciate the engagement, folks. I appreciate the engagement. And I appreciate the text throughout the week. Somebody in the community said that they are working on their first deal. I'm not going to say the name, and it's a for sale by owner, and they wanted to know if I could share a script. I will let you all know I do partner on deals. I do 50-50 splits if you have full control of the deal. When I say 50-50 splits, this is if you have the property under contract and you want to wholesale it. I also buy property as well. So if you have a deal that's available and the numbers make sense, I'm looking to buy. But I always have clients that are looking to buy as well. So we got a lot to talk about today. Before we jump into that, I do have to go over the quick disclaimer. Remember to do your own research and that my content is intended to be used for informational and sometimes entertainment purposes only. It is very important that you do your own due diligence before making any investments based on your own personal and current financial circumstances and situations. You should research and verify anything that I say and also consult with a licensed professional before moving forward. So, folks, welcome to episode 17. Episode 17, that's a special number. Okay. Episode 17 of the Freedom and Wealth Seekers podcast, where we talk about real estate investing for the most part. I mentioned cryptocurrency here and there. And we talk about, what's going on in the world, in the real estate world. This week, for some reason, Jay-Z is trending in reference to a real estate deal he was involved in about 11 to 12 years ago. And I kept seeing it on my timeline. And I'm like, I got to talk about this. This is like a trending news story. And it's so crazy. I remember this story back in 2010, but I didn't really pay attention to it because I had my own little debacle going on in my real estate business, like everybody. You hear about stories of folks that were in real estate that lost a lot of money during that time. But I mean, when you're in the business, it's like you really only focusing on like your issues and your problems during those times. But you would hear things, and Jay-Z, I heard things about his business. The business that stood out back then was the 40/40 Club, and I heard little whispers about some hotel deal, and that's what I'm going to talk about uh, at some point today. I'm also going to talk about Direct Mail Wednesday, pick up where we left off. Um, Want to break down this direct mail piece that was sent to me in reference to one of my properties, and I really like it. I really like it, but I'm going to give this guy some tips as he grows his business. I'm also going to share deals where I lost money in the recession and right in the beginning of the pandemic. I lost some money on some deals. I'm going to talk about the Rehab Mastery. I'm super excited about that. Congratulations to the 4 individuals that that registered last Saturday. We have 6 slots left for the Rehab Mastery. Those tickets are on sale. If you are interested and you didn't make Saturday's class, go up a few text messages. There's a replay of the master class that was held on Saturday. Um, I am planning another class this Saturday as well. This class is going to be a lot different than the 5 pillars. This class may have a PowerPoint. So last class didn't have a PowerPoint. I'm going to switch things up here and there. I'm going to talk about the different phases of construction, the different types of property that you may be renovating as far as residential renovations. Um, just some of the intricate things that go into rehabbing a house that you will either learn or you will grow to learn as you begin buying and renovate houses. Just give you an example, there are like 4 to 5 different types of roofs that you're going to encounter when you're renovating houses. Okay, and throughout your career, depending on where you are around the country, you're probably going to encounter at least 2 to 3 throughout your real estate investing career. But if you plan to invest in other states, other cities, you will probably encounter all 5. All right. So there's a lot of news going on. I'm just going to stick with the Jay-Z story right now. But before we do that, I talked about Direct Mail Wednesday. I wanted to make sure I hit the record button. Okay, this is a mail piece that I received about one of my properties, and I talked about the headline on this mail piece. It's in bold letters. It's a little bigger than the rest of the font on this mail piece. And I think he could have made it just a tad bit bigger. My recommendation to Benjamin is maybe to highlight the headline so it really sticks out. But he asked a question: do you want to sell your home at maximum value? Okay. Now, for all of our newcomers, if this is your first Freedom and Wealth Seekers podcast, every Wednesday I break down a direct mail piece real time, something that I just received in the mail this month in reference to one of my properties. Now, this guy, it looks like he's using a mail house out of Florida because the direct mail piece was sent from, it had Florida postage, but this is a local company in my market. So his headline I would tweak. Then he has find out how you can flip your house to achieve maximum profits with any investment or swinging hammers on your part. Now, I really like this. Like, me and this guy kind of think on the same wavelength, right? Okay, when you're in a competitive market, and I've helped some of my students in competitive markets put together marketing pieces similar to this in Washington, D.C. Okay, and I'm gonna break that down in a second. I want to make sure I'm good on time here. My name is Benjamin Morgan. I own a local real estate company here in Greater Baltimore. My company partners with homeowners like you to maximize the profits you get when selling your property. We supply the money, know-how, management, and crew to flip your house. We list the property for sale. You make all of the money you would have made if you would have sold as is. You also make a percentage of the increased revenue generated by flipping, updating the property. I want y'all to understand what young Benjamin, and I say this young man because I heard him talking in the video, this is a genius move in a competitive market. He's giving everybody, you can write this down, a unique selling proposition. You have to have a USP in your marketing to pull people in. What is your unique selling proposition? Okay, if you were on the rehabbing masterclass last weekend, well, my unique selling proposition is at the end. Some of my student partners are going to have the opportunity to partner with me on, similar to what Benjamin's doing, on their next real estate deal. And I'm going to manage the construction, and I'm going to give you the contractors, and I'm going to help you get the lending and things of that nature. But I'm going to ensure that you're going to be successful in a rehab project. But the numbers have to make sense. And that's basically what he's doing with the general public as he's marketing, trying to purchase property. He says, in the end, your profits are much higher than if you sold the property in its current condition. Okay. The best part is we handle the entire process for you, so you don't have to lift a finger. If you don't need to sell today, but rather in 6 to 9 months, this could be a great option, and one that you might not have been aware of. Okay, so he's educating his client here, his prospective client. We are committed to helping Baltimore residents like yourself achieve the dream of selling their homes for maximum value without having to go through the whole flipping process alone. There is absolutely no risk for you to give us a call. I am swiping this letter. Okay. This is why I collect direct mail. Okay. Because this is perfect. This is perfect. Now there's some things I would do differently, just little things. I may not even change the words except my name and my company. Like, this is a great template if I want to partner with homeowners, right? And this is a unique selling proposition. I got about 100 letters and postcards to the left of my desk right now, right? And none of them stand out like this. Even though it's plain, when I read it, the unique selling proposition is what stands out the most. Okay. Now, I sold some property earlier in 2020, the beginning of 2020. I don't believe Benjamin was around looking at his YouTube channel. He may have been, but if I'd have known him, I'd have sold my properties to him. And we'll talk about that later on. But it goes on and lists some other benefits, but it has a QR code. Now, this is where he's probably lost people. Okay. This is where he's probably lost people. Most older folks don't know how to use a QR code. They're probably looking at this like, what is this? Is this some type of logo? Like, he doesn't have any direction to what this is. So, Benjamin, if you're watching, I would have some direction to what this is. I would tell the prospect, hey, take a picture, pull your camera out, and wave it across. If you say scan, put wave in parentheses, wave it across this logo, to see a video. So when you wave this QR code with your phone, it takes you to YouTube. Now, I would not have them go to my YouTube channel. I would have them go to my website because your prospects can get lost on YouTube. So I would host the video on my website because he has his website here. And I would keep everything under one brand. YouTube is its own brand. Okay, that's the only thing that's wrong with this direct mail piece, minus highlighting the headline or making the headline bigger. But this is a really good direct mail piece, and it goes into the USP. What makes this letter stand out from all the rest is the unique selling proposition inside the letter. All right. Folks are still logging on. Hey, if you just logged on, I made an announcement. The community is growing. Our goal is to get to 5,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel, REI Inner Circle. Make sure you go and subscribe. Ring the bell. There's a bell on the YouTube channel. Every time I upload new content, you will be alerted. You'll receive an alert on your phone, wherever you're watching these YouTube videos. So I want to go into Jay-Z's real estate deal. I tell you, you learn something new every week at the Freedom and Wealth Seekers podcast. So I'm going to share my screen here. All right. So this is Jay-Z. Jay-Z's worst real estate investment had him returning property back to the bank. All right. And I want to kind of explain this. So the feed that has been going around on Instagram, Facebook, it's like Jay-Z lost $52 million. No. He did not lose $52 million. Okay. That did not happen. All right. Jay-Z's multiple or hundreds of millions and billions of dollars is still in his bank. Okay. Or they're in his investment portfolio. But Jay-Z's worst real estate investment had him returning the property back to the bank. Now, this is more like it, right? You didn't see this headline floating around social media. This is an article in 2020. And what you have to realize is that I understand social media and people create headlines to draw attention. And it definitely got my attention because I had forgotten about this story. Jay-Z's famous for saying he's not a businessman, he's a businessman. But even astonishingly successful business tycoon like rapper Jay-Z is not immune to the impact of a recession. The rapper's worst real estate investment left him scrambling, and I won't say it was his worst real estate investment, left him scrambling to make a luxury hotel deal go through. But the plan was ultimately thwarted by an economic downturn too big for even the biggest name in rap to overcome. Jay-Z, unlike many other celebrities who have mismanaged their funds and ended up flat broke, was ultimately able to bounce back from the deal and is now among the richest entertainers in the industry, if not the planet. So that's a picture of Jay-Z and the lovely Beyonce. I'm pretty sure this is at their new mansion out in Bel Air. Jay-Z, whose real name is Sean Conner, and his wife Beyonce are among the most successful entertainment power couples of all time. They have combined net worth of $1.5 billion. That kind of money has allowed them to live a luxurious lifestyle. It has also given them the privilege of making smart money decisions to ensure that their dynasty continues to grow. Beyonce made it clear that she would use that privilege when she rejected a $6 million cash offer from Uber as a performance fee. Instead, she wanted to be paid in Uber stocks. Folks, you know how I read articles. I look for clues. And remember, success leaves clues all the time. So if Beyonce is saying she doesn't want to get paid in fiat currency, she wants to get paid in basically an asset that appreciates over time, what should we be doing? I know y'all already are saying it. We need to be getting paid. We need to purchase assets that appreciate over time. Uber, I'm not telling you to purchase Uber stock. I'm not a financial advisor, but I like to listen to people that make more money than me, right? And I want to invest in the things that they invest in. So Uber, if I was reading this for the first time, would be on my radar, okay? Because I know how stocks appreciate, right? If we look at Uber, you got they spawned off the Uber Eats, and the cab industry is going to be extinct probably in the next 5 years because of Uber. Don't be surprised if Uber stock continues to rise over the next 5, 10, 15 years. Together, the pair have diversified their portfolio that includes investments in streaming services like Tidal, their own performances and related merchandise, clothing lines, and record companies. Not to mention stocks, because they're being paid in stocks. I don't think that's probably not Beyonce's first time being paid in an appreciating commodity asset class. Their roadmap to success is not only impressive, but it stands out for its savvy combination of calculated risks and innovative ideas to turn a serious profit. Jay-Z once made a real estate investment that did not work out. Any investor will tell you that not every deal is going to work out, and that is a fact, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to know this. I got to be brutally honest with you. I hate to rain on your parade, but every real estate transaction you get involved in is not going to be profitable. That's just the way it is. If you know somebody that has had 100% success rate, bring them to me, because I haven't met anybody yet. Okay, you will have a rainy day or a few rainy days in this business. This is especially true when facing down the repercussions of a recession that rippled across the global economy. This is the exact scenario Jay-Z faced when his plans to build J Hotels in New York City failed to come to fruition. Now, I would have stayed at J Hotels. How many of you would have stayed there? I would have loved to stay at Jay-Z's hotel. You probably walk in the lobby and Reasonable Doubt is playing. You probably get to your room and American Gangster's on. Like, oh man, I know he had some ideas for this place. I know he probably had a nice a restaurant lounge inside the restaurant, inside the hotel plans. And I actually took a look at the location. It was a nice location. And I believe it was Brooklyn, New York. Really nice looking aesthetic building. I don't know what it is. It looks like an apartment building now, private residences, but it would have been nice. This is the exact scenario Jay-Z faced when his plans to build the J Hotel failed. So going into it, he planned 150,000 square foot construction project, 52 million. He took a $52 million loan that he personally guaranteed, and he defaulted. So Jay-Z was in foreclosure, okay, in 2008, pretty much most of 2009, 10. And if you did not know, a lot of people don't know this, when you go into foreclosure, well, the bank gives you some options, okay? You can do a loan modification. You can short sale the property, whether you do it yourself or you hire someone to do it. Usually that's an attorney that specializes in short sales, or a real estate agent, and some investors as well. And you can do what's called a deed in lieu. And that is what Jay-Z did with this particular property. Now, banks, depending on the type of loan, this was a commercial loan, they can make you sign a personal guarantee, which they did. And Jay-Z, something I learned, is that he actually sued the bank. And I believe he settled because the bank, they took back the property, but they wanted some money. They said that they had lost some money and they wanted money, and they did not disclose. They did a settlement. They did not disclose how much Jay-Z had to cough up. But I guarantee you, it probably wasn't I know it wasn't for a fact $52 million, but it probably, if I'm guessing, it probably was some of the mortgage payments he missed and maybe future payments, just to satisfy the lender at the end of the day. Because if I dug a little deeper into this deal and looked at, and I did do some digging, that lender, like most lenders back in '08, Jay-Z wasn't the only loan that went in default. So they had a ton of loans that went into default. Jay-Z's was just one of them. They had billions of dollars worth of loans out there. Um, I'm pretty sure they either sold the property at a loss and they were able to write that off at some point, or they held the property and waited for the real estate market to uh, get back on track. And they probably either partnered with another developer or restructured. Jay-Z had partners, restructured the loan, and allowed the partners to do something else with the property. I don't know. I didn't dig that deep, but somebody did something with the property, because in 2010, it was a shell. In 2010, no construction was done. And today in 2022, the property's been renovated and there are people using that property. But this just really goes to show, like, no matter how much money you have, how much influence you have, the real estate market can change at the blink of an eye. And your plans can change for all of your projects. Now, Jay-Z, billionaire. At the time he got involved in this project, was he a billionaire? No. But he has a good team around him of advisors. Jay-Z's no real estate expert. Jay-Z's a media mogul that makes, and he's known to make smart investments. Again, every investment you make isn't going to work all the time. And he knew this going in, and he had a plan to get out of it. And that's key. When you all look at a deal, you want to look at the best case scenario and the worst case scenario. And that goes into planning. If you're on a master class on Saturday, one of the 5 pillars was planning, okay? Planning out your project, creating a plan before you execute. Because at the end of the day, things happen. Unforeseen things happen. Unforeseen things happen. 2008 was ugly. Was ugly for me for several reasons. Mismanaging contractors, okay? Being over leveraged, okay? Those 5 pillars that I shared on Saturday, I hadn't even created at that point, okay? I started teaching wholesaling in 2007. I didn't start teaching people how to rehab until 2014, okay? 2008, when the market crashed, I was over leveraged, had over $1 million in mortgages, not traditional mortgages, hard money mortgages, okay? I ended up losing 3 properties to foreclosure. 3 of my properties went into foreclosure, and I had to sell all 3 at a loss. This happened in 2008, 2009. Totally wiped out my business partners at the time. We had to dissolve the partnership. Everybody went their separate ways. It was just a really bad time in real estate. And it came from being over leveraged, mismanaging contractors. And I see a lot of people today, and everything's like more transparent today because you can see people on social media. And I've been in a position where I've had multiple projects going on. So I see certain people around the country rehabbing X amount of houses at a time. And I know some people that are pulling it off, but I know that some of those people that are doing multiple projects at once, if the market switches up, they're going to be stuck and they're going to end up losing property. Okay. That's just the name of the game. It was happening before I got in the business. It's going to happen after I exit the business. It's going to happen. It's happening today. I'm seeing it with my own eyes. People are over leveraging loans to buy real estate. And it's really the reverse of, it's a mindset and it's a mentality. It's the reverse of the abundance mentality. It's a scarcity mentality. Because when I say that, I've been there. The reason why I bought so many properties at one time in 2007, 2006, is because I thought that I wouldn't have another opportunity to buy again. So every time I got a deal that I could have just wholesaled, I said, nope, we're gonna rehab this. We're gonna get another $120,000 loan. We're getting a property for 30 grand. We're gonna be able to sell for 175, 180. That was our business model at the time, selling between 175 to 225. That's what we were selling houses for back in 2007, even in 2008, because I didn't lose all my properties when the housing crash happened. I was able to rent some, I was able to sell some, but that's a whole nother story. But I got caught in. We got caught in the Great Recession, like a lot of other investors did. But I'm still standing today. I'm still buying and selling houses today, but I took losses. It was one particular property that we sold. We put $130,000 into the property. The market changed. We only made, at the closing table, we made $5,700. And that was divided, two ways. At that time, I had a business partner on that deal. But then guess what? The contractor that put the roof on, the roof started leaking 2 weeks after settlement. The real estate agent called, say, hey, the roof is leaking. So we had to send a licensed roofer out. That cost us about $5,300 to repair. So we made about $400 on a beautiful house. I mean, this was a sprawling 2,800 square foot house in Baltimore City. Beautiful home. Made $400. Got another call. Same house. My basement's leaking. Carpet is all wet. Guess what? Carpet has to be reinstalled. That's $2,200. See, when I'm rehabbing a house, my name is on it. My company name is on the project. That's my brand. You have to protect your brand. So now that project is not profitable. We lost money. Okay. And that happened at a point where we pretty much had our contractors under control. Like, we weren't mismanaging them, but we ended up hiring the wrong contractor. Okay. That's going to happen. Like, every contractor that you all hire isn't going to be perfect. Now, I've been blessed over the last 5 going on 6 years now. I've been working with the same contractor. But look how many years it took me to get to him. It took me about 15 years to get to a contractor that I can trust. And is he perfect? Absolutely not. Are his subcontractors perfect? Absolutely not. But they're good enough to have this longevity with my company and with some of my clients. Okay. So this is the real, folks. Like, I'm giving it to you raw and uncut. I'm so glad that Jay-Z article came out. Okay. Now, the undisclosed amount that he lost, probably millions. I mean, he makes my tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars that I lost look like child's play in the whole grand scheme of things. But a loss is a loss. And I want y'all to know, see, this is the nugget you take from this, from Jay-Z's story, from my story, right? I'm no billionaire yet, but Jay-Z wasn't a billionaire then. He lost millions. Okay. He lost millions in real estate because he had to give up that property. The property was definitely worth more than $52 million. So he lost potential future profits, okay, from cash flow from the hotel, from revenue, from any entertainment, anything. He lost that opportunity, but he gained wisdom, and he started to And he continued to invest. And he became a billionaire. Him and his wife became billionaires. He purchased, what I didn't read to you all in that article, he purchased an $88 million mansion in Bel Air. Okay. So his investments have really paid off. I'm not going to go into all of his investments, but you can follow. Follow Jay-Z. Follow Beyonce. She dropped a nugget in that article. Instead of going with Uber, $6 million in fiat currency that would have just been sitting in her bank, or money she would have had to figure out how to invest. And I'm pretty sure there was some huge tax benefits in her taking stock, because she didn't sell the stock. So that means she's not getting any capital gain tax. But if she took the 6 million, she would have definitely got a huge income tax bill. So I'm pretty sure that, I'm not a tax expert, but I'm pretty sure she avoided some type of taxes when that stock was given to her. I'm pretty sure she saved on taxes long run, because if it was 6 million worth of stock then in 2010, well, ooh, we got to slow down real quick. 2010, Uber wasn't even public. So she got shares in the company before they went public. So y'all can do your own research. That was an 8-figure play that Beyonce put together. All right, that was an 8-figure play that Beyonce put together. So I want to talk about the Rehab Mastery. I gotta talk about that. Some people have been sending me questions, Marcel, what are we gonna do during the class? Like, what does the day look like? So I got it. Is lunch gonna be included? I think I mentioned on the masterclass, lunch is not included, but I will go over, but we're gonna have some fun. We are going to have some fun. So let me share with you what's included during the Rehab Mastery. You know, every time I get on Zoom. Let's see here. Hold on 1 second, folks. Okay, so the class is going to start at 8:30 in the morning. It's a meet and greet. We're going to have donuts, coffee, probably some orange juice, waters. 8:30, class starts at 9. So we're going to go from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. 12 p.m., we're going to take a lunch. 12 p.m. to 1 p.m., there will be lunch, and it will not be provided. There is a refrigerator and freezer in the property. You can pack a cold lunch. There is a microwave, but it won't be operating. But I recommend, if you want to save money, pack a cold lunch. However, within driving and walking distance, there are several restaurants, sub shops. There's a market that has different kitchens inside that should be open that day. There's a Starbucks not far within driving distance. So there's several places to get out and get something to eat. So from 1 to 2, from 12 to 1 is lunch. Then we're gonna walk those calories off, because we all know after lunch we get the itis and we get sleepy. So we're gonna walk it. So from 1 to 3, we're gonna walk down to one of my other properties. Okay. On the way there, we're gonna stop at a new development. I'm gonna show you a dog park that was recently built in the neighborhood. I'm gonna show you another development, and I may have someone from the community or 2 people from the community that have developed properties in that neighborhood. And we may visit some of their commercial property and also some of their residential renovations. Then we walk back to the classroom. Okay, so we can get some exercise in, and the walk from one property to another is only about 2 to 3 city blocks. So wear your walking shoes. It's not a huge, it's not uphill, maybe a small incline, but nothing uphill. It's going to be a nice walk. Hopefully the weather holds up. Okay, we come back at 3. Then we're going to do just 1 hour in the classroom from 3 to 4. Okay, and then at 4 o'clock, we're going to get in the caravan. Okay, and the caravan is you getting in your cars, following me. We're going to be on Zoom. And I'm going to give you a tour of the revitalization zone that I started investing in 2007. Okay. I've been in East Baltimore investing since 2007, right before the housing crash. Okay. So that is what we're going to be doing. There's going to be some other things included. I'm not going to say, but it's going to be an info-packed event. We only have 6 slots left for the Rehabbing Mastery one-day event. This is something I've never done. I've never taken a group of students and taught in class all day. It's always been in a hotel ballroom. And there's only but so much you can do. So that clip you all saw via text from 2011, that was one of my boot camps. And during my boot camps, we did bus tours, okay? And it's a different experience. You know, we're going to different properties. We're not spending a lot of time in the properties. We're walking through, and there's about 100 or so people walking through one property. It's very hard to learn in that setting. So this is going to be a very small setting. I'm bringing on 10 new students. Okay. Not only are you going to get the day with me in the field, but you're also going to get 2 months of coaching. We're going to do a one-on-one Zoom call. I've already done 3 Zooms today with folks that are attending the Rehab Mastery class. That's going to be recorded, so you'll have that. And it's a hands-on. This is a hands-on mini coaching program. I'm taking you right into the trenches. I'm going to share a lot of my resources on how to find lenders, how to find contractors, and there'll be an opportunity for you to partner with me on your next deal where I'm going to line up everything from financing to contractors. The only thing you're going to have to do is help find the deal. That's it. That's it. That's all you got to do. Help find the deal. And I'm going to give you different strategies to finding the deals. So that is all with the Rehab Mastery. I'm going to send out a link. If you're interested, just send me a text and I'll send you the registration link. There's only 6 slots left for that class. I see somebody put something in the chat. Excellent. So FSBO, somebody has a FSBO lead, right? So when you come across a FSBO lead, I shared a nugget earlier, but I don't know what level of investing you're at. FSBOs, I'll give you a couple of scenarios that I've experienced throughout my career. A lot of times when people put out for sale by owner signs, and I'll share a few nuggets in regard to the for sale by owner signs. Most of those people have no idea what their house is worth. They're guesstimating. And when I say that, they don't really have a feel for the market. They don't have any experience in the real estate market. They know that 2 doors down, the house sold for 400,000. Okay, the house could be renovated. They don't know it's sold because for 400,000 because the house was renovated. Their house hasn't been renovated since '88. Okay, and they put in their house on the market for 350, and they believe that they can get 350 because the house 2 doors down sold for 400 and it was renovated. But their house is nice. That's not always the case. Okay, that's not the case. And I had to break that down to these for sale by owners. You have to educate them because a lot of times their asking price is going to be high. Then sometimes the asking price isn't going to be high. Sometimes it's going to be a steal. Sometimes it's going to be doable. Sometimes you're going to have to negotiate. Okay. A lot of times you can tell, like if I drive past a house that has a cardboard box cut out and it's magic marker, it says for sale by owner. Oh, I can't wait to call that person because I know that they have no experience. They're not even willing to invest in a real for sale by owner sign. They ain't even making a homemade sign. Okay. And these great deals, for sale by owner deals can become great deals. I want y'all to understand they don't come around too often because most of the time they want retail. And most of the time they deserve to get retail because their property demands it, right? And most of those times they hire a real estate agent. A real estate agent sees the sign and they go pitch the homeowner. Okay. But there's a percentage of deals that you're going to do throughout your career if you're on it. Like if you're on it, like you can't just drive past a for sale by owner today, not take the phone number down and say, "Oh, I'll see you tomorrow on the way to work." No, you have to operate with a sense of urgency. You have to call them immediately. Okay, because especially in a market like this, where you have people like Benjamin that's willing to partner and buy a house. You know, you're competing with people like Benjamin and I, you know, that think outside of the normal way of thinking conventionally to buy a property. So you have to take massive action fast. So when I call it for sale by owner, I'm going to ask a couple of key questions. The key to winning a negotiation is you talking the least. You don't want to really say much. You want the seller to talk as much as you can. That's how you truly find out if a seller is motivated to sell because they will talk and talk and talk and talk. Whether they're motivated to sell retail or sell as is. Okay. So I'm not even leading. When I call for sale by owner, hey, I saw a for sale by owner sign in front of your house. I just wanted to know something about the property. Could you tell me what the story is with this house? And then I'll kill them with silence. And they either go all in or they say, well, what do you want to know about it? Okay. If they go all in, it's a chance that they're really motivated to sell. If they ask me what I want to know about it, they're pulling back a little bit. I gotta dig now to find out what their motivation is to sell. Well, how long has the house been on the market? Well, I just put the sign out 3 days ago. Okay, great. I bet you're getting a lot of calls about the property. Am I right? I hope you whoever sent me that question. I hope you're taking notes. I can't remember your name. It was so many text messages. I saw that question. You know, I'm gonna ask them that. Like I'm trying to get a commitment early. I bet you're getting a lot of calls about your house. Am I right? Trying to get a yes. The key to any successful sales call is getting them to commit to you early on and throughout the conversation. A rule of thumb in sales is if you get somebody to commit at least 7 times, you're probably going to get the deal. Now, I can't give you an accurate percentage of how many times I've been able to get the deal when I've been able to get somebody to say yes 7 times, but it's pretty up there, right? So I'm asking these questions. Okay, great. Well, hopefully I'm the last person that you talk to about this selling the house. You know, if he said it or she said I talked to 3 or 4 people. I say, okay, well, how many bedrooms are in the house? Okay, there are 4 bedrooms. Okay. How many bathrooms? 2.5. Oh wow. Okay. I was driving really fast. I couldn't tell. Was there a driveway or garage at the property? Okay, it's a garage and driveway. Okay. Yeah, I did notice that some of the houses didn't have garages and driveways. Right. Let me ask you this. When was the last time the kitchen and bathrooms were renovated? Oh, they were renovated well, the bathrooms were renovated about 6 years ago. The kitchen, we've not done anything with since we purchased the house back in the 80s. All right, great. You know, it really seems like a nice home. You know, this is a for sale by owner. This isn't just any old house. This is the person's home most of the time. So it seems like a nice house. What made you put it on the market? Just curious. You know, and I say it in a way where it's no big deal. You know, it seems like a really good house, but I'm just curious, what made you put it on the market? And then now I'm digging into the motivation. Like when they say, "Oh, you had a house next door sold for 400." I'm like, okay, this guy, This lady, she's probably wanting retail. But she said, well, we're moving. This actually was my mom's house, and we're moving out of state, and I really just want to sell the house fast. And I'm giving you like real case studies of students I've done for sale by owners with. These have been the situations where there was a family that lived here that was moving, whose relative owned the house. Matter of fact, one of the last case studies that you saw with Nisha Guksa, that was a owner selling for sale by owner. She was out of state. It was a probated deal. Someone died. She didn't sell it to a real estate agent. She sold it on the investment market. It was an off-market deal. So I find out the motivation. So you got to find out the motivation, and then you got to know how to run your numbers. Because once you find out their motivation, the first call you don't want to, you as an investor, and this is the person that sent me this text, this is their first deal. You do not want to say, blurt out a number that you have no idea what you're blurting out. So you got to run your numbers. Okay. That's where websites like uspropertysearch.com come into play, where you can type in the address, you can see the comparable sales, and you can determine how much investors are paying versus how much retail buyers are paying. And that's how you can formulate an offer. If you sign up for the Saturday class, I'm going to go into how to make offers, how to evaluate deals, but just a beginner script to get you in the conversation with these for sale by owners is a start. So I hope that helps you as you move forward. And then after you find out, why, and hopefully they give you a price, which I'm pretty sure they are if they put a sign out, then that's when you go back and do your due diligence, you formulate an offer, and you call them back. Okay. One of the biggest fears most real estate investors have, new and even seasoned, is actually getting on the phone and talking to sellers. And that's, to me, is one of the easiest things to do. But we all have different backgrounds. So if you don't have any backgrounds of dealing with general public on the phone, it's going to be a scary, scary journey. It can be. But if you have a mentor, if you have a coach, if you're a part of a community that's growing, then it becomes a lot easier. And I'll share this with you. And I'll piggyback on Jay-Z and Beyonce. The reason why they're so successful, yes, they have a gift from God, but we all have gifts from God, is that they practice their craft. They practice their craft. So a lot of you, real estate is your new craft, but are you practicing? I tell this to my student partners all the time. We hold about 3 to 4 trainings a month. But outside of 3 to 4 trainings, are you practicing what I teach every day? See, Jay-Z and Beyonce, they have been singing and rapping and dancing every day since they've jumped into that craft. If you know their stories, look at all the greats. Michael Jackson, his circumstances were a little different with his dad. But if it wasn't for his dad, there wouldn't be the gift of Michael Jackson. There isn't a star today that can hold Michael Jackson's shoestrings, okay, in regards to how iconic he was, where he couldn't go into a public venue without people falling out, ambulances, rioting. That's not happening for Jay-Z and Beyonce when they walk into the crypto arena in Los Angeles and sit courtside. Michael Jackson could never do that. Okay, but it goes into practice every day. He practiced more than his brothers and his sisters. He practiced more than I can't even really name anybody that came up in the 80s that was a pop star like Michael Jackson, other than Prince. But those people, they practice their craft every day. So you got to practice every day to become successful. And there's different levels of success. But to reach any level of success, you got to practice every day. And I say that to say, I know we went over today, but this was a good podcast. You all are already great. You all are already good because look at where you're at in life and what you currently do for a living. You got there by doing it every single day, and that's why they pay you. That's why they pay you the big bucks. You take that same work ethic, that same focus, that same discipline, and you apply it to another aspect of your life, and you do it every day, and then you'll start seeing things manifest. You'll start seeing things come to fruition. But it starts with education, and then it starts with studying the education, then it starts with implementing the education, which is the practice, and it starts with the persistence and the consistency. And then you have success, and then you're sitting at the closing table one day, hey, my next day I'm walking away from my job like Inner Circle alumni Charles Eddington, who just walked away from his job at 40 years old, retired from the federal government. So it can be done, folks. I've seen it for many of my alumni. I'm looking for the new Freedom and Wealth Seekers community to help many of you reach your desired goals, dreams, and results in real estate. And I look forward to seeing you at the closing table. Looking forward to seeing you May 21st in Baltimore. Go back in your tax history, watch the master class. It was about an hour and 40 minutes. Take notes. Show up Saturday. It's looking like we're going to hold another class Saturday. I got a lot of work to do because I got to put the curriculum together. And it's going to be info packed. So, folks, I'll see you soon. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.